Hello everyone and welcome to Warhammer Things. Feel free to follow me and subscribe to see more of my content. Thank you, and I hope you'll enjoy the video. Hello everyone and welcome back. Before starting with the video today, I noticed that more than 90% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. Please subscribe, it's free, you will get updated when I release a video so you won't miss it, but most importantly, this will give me the motivation and resources to further invest in this channel. Thank you all for the support I'm receiving so far. This is so amazing and I love you all, guys. Thank you. So let's talk about the deck now. Today, as you guys wished in the poll I released the other day, we will talk about budget humans. In fact, this deck cost just around 150 ticks. Pretty low budget for a modern deck. So, what have we here? Recently, I've seen many streamers talking about humans in Modern and giving their own go to this archetype, mostly forgotten after Pitch Elementals were released. Thinking about it, we definitely have some tools to fight them, giving us hope for this amazing tribal deck to be able to shine as it did in the past. So, we run 12 1-drops with the classic Champion of the Parish, Esper Sentinel and Aether Vial full playsets. The main renewal comes with the 2-drops, so we have Coppercoat Vanguard, Thalia's Lieutenant and Unsettled Mariner that I think are considered human staples, but at 2 mana we also have Lavinia. For you guys watching my videos, this card shattered our dreams in the past Affinity League, completely locking us out of the game. This card is super strong against Pitch Elementals and Cascade, so we have 3 copies of it in the main deck and 1 in the sideboard. We also have the freshly released Questing Druid in 2 copies, giving us mid-game fuel and growing threat not to be underestimated in the mid-game. At 3 mana, we also have Anointed Peacekeeper and Boromir, Warden of the Tower, both in 3 copies. Both great cards against Pitch Elementals and Cascade. We also have 4 copies of Adeline, our finisher I would say, super strong card, incredibly aggressive. We finished the main deck with 2 Reflector Mages, always good with Aether Vial, but even without that, in a deck with no removals, a bit of interaction goes a long way. In the sideboard, we have 3 War Priests of Thune, a card I saw Aspiring Spikes playing in the last week with good results. Full playset of en-Vecs, simply too strong and also hitting on burn and graveyard attacks. We also have the 4th Boromir and the 4th Lavinia against Cascade Elementals deck and Affinity, I guess. 2 Meddling Mages against combo decks, 2 Jirina just in case board wipes or decks that run board wipes or graveyard attacks, and 2 Cursed Totems against the Scales. So this league was very interesting, and yeah, we also play of course 20 lands, no more, no less, because we have a full playset of Aether Vials, so we don't really need many more lands. This league was very interesting, so stay tuned and let's go check out what happened in the match number 1. Here we are, match number 1 against Lucy No. We keep a hand with Aether Vial, Champion of the Parish, Unsettled Mariner and Reflector Mage, so we have the perfect curve, almost. Opponent has a Giganta and starts off with Sagot Triumph. We start with Vial, not Champion of the Parish, because we want to charge the Vial as soon as we can. Opponent does nothing, we charge the Vial. We go Secluded Courtyard, we Vial a Champion of the Parish, and we play an uncounterable Unsettled Mariner, triggering the Champion of the Parish, and we pass back to our opponent that scoops, just a scoops, because missed the land drop, I guess. Well, that's an unexpectedly fast win. Okay, I take that, opponent. Well, I wanted to play a bit more with the deck, and I don't even know what the opponent is playing because we only saw a Giganta, so I have no idea what he's playing. Well, okay, let's go and check out game number 2. Here we are, game number 2. I don't know if I had any modification in the sideboard. I think I brought in a Lavinia because I thought opponent was running 4C. And I also brought in... can't really remember. Okay, so opponent is playing Zoo, I guess. Yeah. We kept a not so fast hand, but we have a Coppercoat Vanguard, a Thalia's Lieutenant, and a Peacekeeper, so pretty decent hand. Opponent dashes a Ragavan. I don't know if we want to block. Nah, we don't. Opponent triggers from Ragavan, exiling a Questing Druid. Ragavan back into opponent's hand. We charge the Vial. Up to 2. We pass back to opponent after naming Shardless Agent with the Peacekeeper. Opponent attacks, triggering the Territorial Cavu. We don't want to block that. We take 4. Opponent plays the Ragavan. At the end of turn, we Vial down Thalia's Lieutenant. So we use the Vial, bringing it up to 3. We top deck a Lavinia, which is good. We first go into combat. We don't want to lose the Lieutenant now to Ragavan. And we now play Lavinia, triggering Lieutenant. Opponent is down to 11. I am afraid opponent might have Tribal Flames. Opponent is keeping on cycling cards with the Territorial Cavu, discarding the Shardless Agent. We now block with the Peacekeeper trading. Opponent plays a Glissa Sunslayer. Okay, this card is strong. We top deck an Unsettled Mariner. We have so many lands, we're being so unlucky. We play the Mariner. We pass the turn. As Glissa has first strike. Opponent fetches. Zagot Triumph tapped. Sign of Draco. That's scary. Now Glissa also has Lifelink and Trample. Yeah, I thought double blocking here would kill Glissa, but apparently first strike and Death Touch doesn't work like it only had first strike. So yeah, they both died because I'm stupid. And I decided to concede. So we are now tied 1-on-1. That was my big mistake, but I think compensated the fact that opponent couldn't find a second land in game 1. So my stupidity and ignorance played a role in this game. Well, no further hesitation. Game number 3. Here we are, game number 3. So I brought out a Questing Druid and Unsettled Mariner, and I brought in Sanctifier en-Vec. So this hand is not particularly strong. We proceed to play the Coppercoat Vanguard that gives our other humans ward 1, so he is the first to hit the battlefield. Opponent fetches. Opponent already has full domain and starts with the Cavu. We now play Adeline, passing the turn because she's not big enough. Now the Cavu also has first strike, but opponent luckily decides to attack. We take the damage, of course. Now we top deck an Esper Sentinel. We play Lavinia and Thalia's Lieutenant. So Adeline is now big enough to be able to attack. over the Scion of Draco. Scion, of course, blocking our token, but opponent takes 7 damage. Opponent attacking with the Kavu. We take the damage down to 11. Another Kavu. I'm sorry, Scion of Draco. We play an Esper Sentinel triggering Thalia's Lieutenant. We now want to attack with everything. We want to sacrifice Adeline because we have another one in hand. Opponent blocks Adeline, of course, and blocks the Lieutenant, taking enough damage to die, probably. Yes, exactly 9 damage. So we were pretty close this game, but since we started and we had Adeline at the right moment paired with Thalia's Lieutenant, we were able to kill our opponent easily. He didn't had any removals, so I don't think he was running maybe just Fury. I don't know, it was a pretty strange list of Zoo. Old-fashioned, not 4C Cascade, not 4C Scam Zoo you see on Dark Faden channel, so I don't really know. Well, we won. We're down 1-0 after match 1, so I'm pretty excited to go and check out match number 2. Match number 2 on the draw. We mulligan with a pretty decent hand, with a curve of 1, 2, and 3. Opponent playing Yawgmoth. So we go Esper Sentinel and pass the turn. Opponent Grist, creating an insect. We play out the Mariner, trying to protect ourselves and our creatures. Opponent creating another insect. Opponent playing the fastest Yawgmoth in the game. And I decided to just concede, because you see Yawgmoth has this ability that most people ignore, protection from humans. So I don't really have a single chance to beat Yawgmoth if it enters the battlefield. So I absolutely have to prevent that or play the Cursed Totem. But it's gonna be difficult. So I'm not feeling comfortable after this match. We have some tools to combat against Yawgmoth, but we must see those tools, and opponent must not play Yawgmoth on turn 3 without being contested with some interaction. So yeah, game number 2. Game number 2, here we are. We sideboarded in, so out all the Lavinias and in Meddling Mage's Cursed Totems, and also we brought out Boromir's and we brought in Paladin and the en-Vecs, sorry, Sanctifier en-Vecs. We start out with, we have Meddling Mage, Anointed Peacekeeper, so it's not bad, we have some interaction. Also, the champion could put some pressure on the opponent. We start off with Unsettled Mariner, because I don't really have any information about what the opponent has in hand. So Meddling Mage would a completely blind call, and I don't want that. I can look at my opponent's hand next turn with Peacekeeper, and then on the 3rd turn playing Meddling Mage on something I saw with Peacekeeper. That was the plan. So I play Peacekeeper, opponent responds with Bowmasters. That's fine. Opponent has to ping himself, I guess. I attack with the champion. And the opponent takes the damage down to 13. And I pass the turn. Opponent does nothing. We draw a card with Sunbaked Canyon, stupidly because opponent has Bowmasters, but had to ping his own creature. So I'm playing Meddling Mage. And you see, this is the opponent's hand. I saw a card of calling, a Grist and 2 Yawgmoths. So I'm playing Grist because I already named Yawgmoth with with my Anointed Peacekeeper. So opponent has to pay 6 in order to get to play Yawgmoth. So I decided to play Grist, so opponent cannot get rid of my Peacekeeper while I'm beating with the Champion of the Parish. Opponent Card of Calling, probably for a Wall of Roots, yes. So I play a Vial, and even this game we have so many lands that is ridiculous. We only run 20, so this is just stupid. Opponent, Agatha Soul's Cauldron, we don't like that. But yeah, it's better than other things. Opponent has 2 Yawgmoths and 1 Grist in hand. We top deck a Reflector Mage, which is not bad, I would say. Now, I think I am bouncing the Wall of Roots and not the Army Token, because this is too much of a wall. And also could help the opponent ramp up and play Yawgmoth, so I want to slow that down as much as possible. Opponent weirdly blocking the Peacekeeper. Yeah, he got rid of the Peacekeeper with Agatha Soul's Cauldron. That was not a good attack by me. I was not careful enough and I forgot about Agatha Soul's Cauldron. So the opponent gave +1/+1 on his Amass Orc and killed my Peacekeeper. I should have stayed back because, you know, you never know. This kind of deck can ramp up pretty fast. I was in a safe spot, but that was stupid. I should have stayed back and just attacked with Champion of the Parish. I was in control. That was risky. But we won. We won game 2. So we're 1-1 now. And we have to fight for the win in game 3. Here we are, game 3. I think the sideboard stayed the same. Opponent is starting with that Delighted Earthling. Pretty good start. We have the Meddling Mage here and double Coppercoat Vanguard. Legion hand. Wow. On Champion of the Parish. Yeah, that was scary. Not really impactful, but, you know, we won thanks to the champion before, so... Agatha Soul's Cauldron, another halfling. So this is not looking good, but opponent has 0 cards in hand because he mulliganed. So we now go Meddling Mage blindly, completely blindly on Yawgmoth because it's the only card that can win now. So, okay, we top decked Adeline, but we prefer to go safe and play en-Vec plus Coppercoat Vanguard. Because I want the double protection on my creators, you know. So now I could go Adeline. And not yet attacking because, you know, with a double block, Undying, it can kill my key creators, and I don't want that. But now I can draw one and go with Thalia's Lieutenant, giving +1/+1 to all my creators, and this way you see, my Coppercoat Vanguard has 3 in Constitution, so it's way more resilient, and 2 Young Wolf is not enough to kill them. Opponent has to make a choice. Now, you know, math is for blockers, they say. And this is the case. My opponent was going crazy over this block, but I think I have the win here. I think it's not enough by my opponent. You see, opponent is down to 6. They only have 2 Young Wolves. I have all my board state. It's not enough. Opponent 2 cards in hand. They managed to play a Yawgmoth, but you see, my creatures have Ward 2. They are almost unbeatable. So we won. We are down 2-0 in this league. We managed to beat, I would say a tier 2 deck, such as Yawgmoth. Yawgmoth is a pretty solid deck, and I was not very confident at the beginning, but maybe my opponent was unlucky this game and I was lucky, I don't know. It happens, but we managed to beat Yawgmoth even if this creature here has protection from humans, which is so annoying. So I'm pretty satisfied, as for now, with the deck. And the sideboard made such an impact with Meddling Mage. I was so happy about that. Okay, without further talking, let's go and see if we can go 3-0 in match number 3. Here we are, match number 3 on the draw again. Opponent most probably playing UR Murktide with a turn 1 Ragavan, which we don't like. We respond with an Esper Sentinel, hoping the opponent doesn't have a removal. So they don't have, we trade, and they don't even have a second land, so we go Esper Sentinel and another Esper Sentinel. And once again, the opponent scoops because they cannot hit the second land. I don't understand these people really. Like, I even made this mistake once in this league, I think. Maybe in one of the upcoming matches. But to just give up on turn 2, this is insane. Maybe I had only lands in my hand or vials or I don't know. Nothing scary. They could have just bolted and unholy hitted my Esper Sentinels. I don't know. Well, I don't know what was on my opponent's mind. Well, we won game 1, so you guys want to see game 2. Here we are, game 2. So what we boarded was en-Vecs in, because they are protection. Lavinia's out, because they are not of much use. And also one Boromir out. We started with Cavern of Souls and Aether Vial. Opponent is not playing Murktide, I guess. They just boom busted my land over their undestructible land, so wow. That was a Stone Rain for 2 mana. Wow, and Soul Artifact. Luckily we have a Reflector Mage here. Our Vial goes up to 2. Cavern of Souls. We Sanctify en-Vec. And Coppercoat Vanguard. We pass the turn. Our opponent has 5 cards in hand. Opponent attacking. We take the damage because we don't really want to trade. Our opponent gas boom bust. Also that creature is indestructible. Again another boom bust. Interesting. Aether Vial up to 3. We have Adeline, not bad, but we play the champion of the Parish. We attack. We are keeping our Vial open to Vial down the Reflector Mage and bounce the Darksteel Citadel, triggering the champion of the Parish. That's what I'm talking about when I say interaction. Opponent casts Narset, Parter of Veils. Yeah, that's fine. They look for a Shrapnel Blast. Okay. We don't use Vial's ability. Another champion of the Parish. We Vial down Adeline. We go into combat and that's most probably the end for my opponent. Yes. So this was the easiest win in this league, I think. They just conceded after a few turns in game 1. They now, yeah, they had 2 boom busts, but luckily we had a Vial, so it was not good for them, maybe not good matchup. And Soul Artifact, a very interesting combination with indestructible lands, but we had the Reflector Mage, also very good. I didn't expect the opponent after game 1 to be playing this kind of deck, which is very interesting. I love this kind of decks, but this time that doesn't seem to have worked out. Okay, so we're down 3-0 in the league. I can see the trophy on the summit, but I doubt that we can grab that. I'm not feeling really solid with the deck so far. Let's see what happens in match number 4. We have a pretty decent hand, Esper Sentinel, Aether Vial, but we are on the draw, and of course opponent with Scam plays a Ragavan. Hopefully he doesn't have a removal. Opponent attacks with Ragavan, we block, and they have not that after all. We draw a card with Esper Sentinel, but the Ragavan is coming back as a 3-2. We play the Vial, we don't have a decently enough 2-drop to block that Ragavan. Ragavan hits us for 3 damage, opponent plays a Doughty White Walker, exiling a Coppercoat Vanguard. They decide not to play. Our turn, we charge up the Vial. We play Reflector Mage on the White Walker, and we pass the turn, hoping opponent doesn't have a removal. Opponent attacks us, but bolts the Mage, of course. Ragavan hits us again, revealing a treasure token. Sorry, revealing a Temple Garden, creating a treasure token. Opponent plays a Thoughtseeds, getting rid of the Unsettled Mariner. We charge the Vial up to 2. We draw Anointed Peacekeeper. That's nice. We play it, and opponent has 2 Doughty White Walkers, so what we name is Doughty White Walker. Opponent has to pay 2 more to play that card. Opponent attacks us with Vial down the Lieutenant. We block the Ragavan, and opponents. Flashy Scene Archish Bow Master, killing the Peacekeeper. Maybe we made a mistake, but I'm not sure if we made a mistake or not, but I wanted to get rid of that Ragavan. We fetch at the end of the turn. Vial up to 3. We draw a Fountain. Maybe I should have cracked the Sunbaked Canyon. I play a Boromir, triggering the Thalia's Lieutenant, so Boromir prevents the opponent from playing Fury, and opponent plays Fury into Boromir. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Why? A Boromir says sorry. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. So in this case, as you evoke a creature, you're not paying his mana cost, okay? You are paying an alternative cost, but not mana. So if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. As the opponent comes to realize the big mistakes he made, he decided to scoop the game, and we won game 1. So we are now 1-0 in match number 4. Let's see if we can win this game or not in match number 2. Match number 2, we boarded out Questing Druid, Meddling Mage, and we brought in en-Vec and Boromir. We go turn 1 Esper Sentinel. We pass the turn. Opponent fetches and plays a Doughty White Walker. We go Sanctifier en-Vec. We attack with Esper Sentinel. Opponent cannot block and takes 1. Down to 18. Opponent attack Enuma, Bone Crusher Giant. Okay, attacking with Doughty White Walker. Down to 16. We play Adeline, and we attack with the Sanctifier, triggering Adeline. Opponent of course blocks, but takes 2 damage. Opponent Fury, 4 damage on Adeline. No scamming. Opponent Grief. Okay. Pitching a Blood Moon and a Not Dead after all. Opponent sacrifices the White Walker to play Adeline. Attacking with the Bone Crusher triggers Adeline. So opponent now has a human token. Oh, we cannot really face Adeline. Oh my god. Oh my god. I decided to double block the Bone Crusher Giant. But the damage I'm taking is overwhelming. Oh, engineered explosive on 2? Yeah, I just decided to concede. This doesn't make sense. Opponent, yeah, opponent made a strange but incredibly right play by sacrificing his own Void Walker, you see, and playing Adeline, because he didn't had any solution. Well, yeah, now he had explosives, but at the time he didn't had any solution to deal with the Sanctifier en-Vec. So he decided to play my Adeline instead, because I don't have anything to do against the Adeline. That was a smart move by Alberto SD. Yeah, I recognize that. So we are now tied 1-on-1. Game number 3 will be the answer. Game number 3. We are now on the play. I decide to keep a 1-lander, and that is going to be a big mistake by me. I play a Champion of the Parish on turn 1. I have another Sanctifier en-Vec or Lavinia on turn 2, so I'm pretty pumped up, but I miss the second land. I hit my opponent for 1. They play a Dotty Void Walker. Nothing scary, but I don't hit the second land one more time. I was so stupid. I played so poorly here. I was so greedy. Opponent cast Hidetsugu, and I think that's it. I won't be able to come back from this position. I am about to concede. If I don't hit another land, I just concede. Oh my god, Peacekeeper. Yes, right. We concede, guys. I played so poorly. So stupidly poorly. Oh, I am so sorry for you guys that you are watching this mess. Well, it's the first time I'm sorry for my bad skills playing this deck. This was a greedy, stupid mistake. I mean, I've been criticizing my opponent in the past games for scooping with a 1-lander after a few turns, and here I am doing the same exact thing. On match number 4, 1-on-1, and I decide to keep a 1-lander against Scam. Yeah, I think I have really serious problems. Well, whatever, mistakes were made. Match number 5. Let's see if we can at least hit the 4-1. Match number 5. Here we are on the draw once more. We have a pretty decent hand with Vial, Mesa. Oh, opponent. Oh my god. Opponent is playing Boggles. Oh, that's scary. Oh my god, no. Oh no, that thing is already too big. If they have Daybreak Coronet, this is over. Oh my god. I go Mariner. And I only have... Oh, Daybreak Coronet, okay. Okay. That was a super fast defeat, but... For you guys not familiar with Boggles, Daybreak Coronet is the biggest payoff they have. Enchanted creature gets +3/+3, First Strike, Vigilance, but most importantly, Lifelink. I won't be able to do anything since this guy is already flying thanks to Griff's Boon and will grow to an unmatched rate thanks to Ethereal Armor. So nothing much I can do. I cannot raise this thing, I cannot champ block it, I cannot destroy it, I cannot bounce it, I can't do anything. So I just have to scoop this game and hope that my sideboard will help me in the following games. Okay guys, game number 2. Let's hope for the best. Game number 2, I think I brought in Tunis. Yes, and I brought out Lavinias that are mostly useless, and Boromir's. I go Aether Vial past the turn. I mulligan to 6, by the way. Yeah, I charge the Vial to 1. I have a War Priest of Thune, which is super good. I proceed on playing Meddling Mage on Daybreak Coronet, which is the biggest payoff they have. Opponent strangely plays the Ethereal Armor on Slippery Boggle. Opponent pitches a Rancor to Force of Vigor in order to kill my Vial. Oh, I throw the second War Priest of Thune, but I decide not to play it now, because opponent only has an Ethereal Armor, which is mostly useless. I'm going to play the War Priest of Thune now, triggering, of course, both Champion of the Parish and Thalia's Lieutenant. I get rid instantly of Ethereal Armor, and I am now attacking wildly my opponent. Opponent decides to trade on the Thalia's Lieutenant, and I'm happy about that. Opponent down to 6. Opponent doesn't draw anything useful, and just decides to concede. I think opponent mulliganed because he didn't have much cards. Yeah, well, he wasted a Force of Vigor on a Vial, pitching a Rancor, but you know, without Daybreak Coronet, they cannot really do anything early. If we have War Priest of Thune, we had another one in hand, so we were in a pretty good position. Okay, I'm confident enough we can win the last game. Let's check it out. Here we are, last game. We have a 1-lander. I am stupid enough to keep this once more. I don't draw the second land. I go Esper Sentinel because I want to draw cards. Our opponent gets Lightspaw Emperor's Voice. Whenever an aura enters the battlefield under your control, if you cast it, you may search your library for an aura card with mana value less than or equal to that aura with different name. Then each aura you control, put that card on the battlefield attached to Lightpaw. So opponent plays a Rancor and goes looking for Ethereal Armor. Once more, I made this insanely stupid mistake of keeping a 1-lander against a 1-lander without any sideboard cards. Opponent just casts Daybreak Coronet, and I think I'm done already. Opponent grabs a Grief Spoon, and I think that's it. I cannot do anything. I go down to 2, opponent 26. I play a Champion of the Parish. Draw. Oh, now comes the land. Well, I couldn't have done anything with this ridiculous hand. I don't even know why I kept it. Maybe in my head, you know, I should have draw few cards with Esper Sentinel, hitting a second land, or I don't know. But if you look at these cards, Reflector Mage is mostly useless because it cannot bounce Hexproof creatures. Unsettled Mariner is useless because opponent doesn't target my creators. Yeah, Adeline is good but slow. Anointed Peacekeeper is good but slow. So, with only 1 land and 1 Vial, knowing my opponent is playing Force of Vigor, this was an incredibly stupid mistake. So, okay, 3-2 is the final result, which is not bad, of course not. The deck felt good, but this was not what I was hoping for. Okay guys, let's meet in a few seconds into the wrap-up. Here we are commenting on the deck. So, as I was saying a few seconds ago, 3-2 is not a bad result. And actually, I was impressed by the deck in a few moments when I didn't misplay and when I didn't kept stupid per hands. The cards that felt underwhelming were like Questing Druid. I never played these cards, mostly boarded this out. I don't really think the deck needs this. Maybe 2 copies is good enough to keep in the deck. Maybe not. just one league is not enough to know if this card is good or not in this deck. What I know for sure is that Lavinia and Boromir both did a great job, even in the main deck and in the sideboard. I was really happy about this, and we have to respect the fact that they counter Peach Elementals, because I mean, I am a tribal player. I always played elves, goblins, merfolks, you know, sorry. And when they printed Peach Elementals, you know, my world crumbled before myself, because those elementals are too strong, really too strong to deal with for tribal decks. But if you combine the rising popularity of archetypes running Fury, Grief, Solitude, you know, almost any decks run these cards. So you can main deck Lavinia and Boromir, hoping to see what happened in the match against my opponent with Rakdos Scam. They cannot play their elementals, and if they don't, our board state will grow, and they cannot do anything about that. Yeah, they can bolt, they can push, they can terminate, but you know, Boromir protects us even from that. So you see, those cards are really strong. Maybe 3 Lavinias and 3 Boromir is maybe a bit too much. I don't know. Just one league is not enough testing to tell. What felt not on point were also lands. 20, I'm confident enough it's the right number, but sometimes they just felt like too many lands. Like, really, too many lands. Okay, forget the games where I kept 1 landers, but the other times I always drew too many lands, and I'm not happy about that. Maybe I should cut 1, and you know, maybe I should just cut 1 land. As for the sideboard, War Priest of Thune did a great job. We didn't face any Leyline Bindings or up the Beanstalk, but this card is pretty crazy. I mean, this is very good. Sanctifier en-Vec, of course, is a very good card, and you must run 4 copies. Boromir and Lavinia's, we already spoke about that. Meddling Mage was great against Yawgmoth and literally stole us the game. Jirina, I never played this card in this league, never even boarded the card in, so sorry, not much to say about that for now, but I wouldn't go outside in this living end meta, you know, without something to deal with graveyard hate, with graveyard. You must hate the graveyard, you know. So 2 Jirina is not bad at all. Cursed Totem, you know, against the Scales or those kind of decks, so 2 Cursed Totem is not much in the sideboard, but can steal games against those kind of decks. Okay, so here we are at the end of this league. Next league will be Budget Control. Very interesting deck. Well, thank you guys for following me into this league, into this video. I was very happy to record this, and I had so much fun playing humans. I am sorry for my bad performance. I think if I played better, I could have grabbed the trophy maybe, or at least a 4-1. But I didn't play well enough, so it's on me this time, not on the deck. If you want to try this deck out, remember that you can rent this deck for just $4 a week on Card Hoarder loan system. I'm not sponsored or anything, I just love their service. I will leave the link in the description. Thank you guys one more time. I will always say thank you guys, because I love you, I love the interaction we have in the comments, and I love that you are subscribing. So many people is doing that. Please keep on subscribing. I am so happy about the community that is growing so fast. Okay, guys, what can I say more? Just let's see ourselves together in the next video coming out in a few days. Thank you again, and see you. Have a nice day.